Hey, what's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy here, Wesley from A Connection TV here on YouTube, the one place on the World Wide Web where we actually adopt similar connections despite our differences. And welcome to my channel. I'm here to talk to you guys about. Actually, I was gonna save this video for tomorrow because I wanted to see Big Brother tonight and go off on the live eviction. But I can't save it. Okay. So this video is going to be about last night's episode, edited episode, let me say, of Big Brother. Because right now, the only one that we get live in real time is the eviction. And so this is just an interesting show, a very interesting show. And I understand why it's been going on for 24 seasons, even with all of its controversies. It's a great way to dissect people in today's society, whatever current year we're in, right? I think the introduction of the live feeds is an amazing situation because it allows us to see the people, the guinea pigs, if you will, in raw form, right? All different types of races, different genders, sexual orientations, religious beliefs, all of that, right? We get to see what happens when you strip them away from the outside world, no outside influence, and you put 16 people in a house to create their own world, so to speak, and their own beliefs and their own, like, how they decide to, like, connect or corroborate with each other. It's very, 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 very interesting. You have things like the mob mentality play out, the herd mentality, leader of the pack, you know, insecurities, bullying, all of those things that, you know, typically people protest against in the outside world, they bring into this house. It's just really, really interesting, right? And I'm trying to find the fascination within it every episode outside of just, you know, being upset all the time. Because last night's episode got me really upset. And it got me upset for multiple reasons, specifically 3. And I want to stick with 3 because this video will be long. Reason number 1, and people hate when this is always thrown into the mix, but it is what it is. Why is what it is? Because of the world that we currently live in. Because of the struggle that black people have to face every single day. Because of the struggle that women have to face every single day. Because of the struggle that gay people have to face every single day, right? But there's a tier of what matters most to most, okay? And what do I mean by that, Wesley? Wesley, what do you mean? Basically, people have a tendency to connect with who they have similarities with, right? And I put this, I said this in a previous video, that if you throw 90 women in a room and throw that man in the room with 90 women, majority of the women are not going to try to connect with the man because he's outside of the group, just off of him being a man, right? And that it is what it is. It's human nature. And so for me, one of the 3 reasons that I had one of the problems that I had an issue with this episode was the fact that we have 5 black people in this house. And the people that are sticking up for Taylor, who is being so poorly judged and lied to and treated and all of that stuff, aren't people of color. And a lot of people are mixed. You know, people are mixed in this house. So, you know, it's like, oh, everybody's mixed, so this is a great casting. Okay, pause for a second, because we're not talking about the strife of mixed folk, okay? We're talking about the strife of black people and what they've had to endure for hundreds of years, okay? That's what's being carried throughout a lot of these shows and not acknowledged enough so that it doesn't happen again, right? And so what am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that you should always support and stick with your own. Period. That's how I feel. No one's gonna get me to change that. And so problem number one for me was in last night's episode was that you had 5 black people in this house, and it takes Kyle to acknowledge and stick up for Taylor. That's a problem I have. And I don't like that, okay? People always wondered, like were wondering when it was happening, why does the cookout exist? Why are they doing this? And you know, it's oftentimes where we don't see enough of our own people, I'm speaking from a black's perspective, enough of our own people rallying behind each other. It happened in previous seasons, okay? Davon against David, you know, and then Nicole putting Davon against David for that lie. You know what I'm saying? I hated seeing them going after each other on TV. I hated that. It pissed me off, right? I'm having a brain fart. Everything that Bailey went through, everything that Kimmy went through, in my mind, I feel like when we were introduced to the cookout, there were so many times where Big D was hating on and yelling with or yelling at, and actually both of them were going after each other, Tiffany and Big D, and that just, it aggravated my soul. Even though I couldn't stand Tiffany for how she was talking to people, it just aggravated my soul that they were going against each other. And the overall big, amazing thing about the cookout was that no matter what, they stuck it through to the end. No matter what, they showed that black people can support each other. No matter what, they showed that black people can carry each other. No matter what, black people stuck together. You have 5 black people in this house, and they are sitting idle. Terrence sat there idly by and just watched Daniel rip her apart because Nicole is crying off of what she interpreted Taylor's words to be after this girl just got finished praying for this broad in the opposite room, and we're just supposed to be like, oh my God. And then Daniel wasn't even involved. He sees Nicole crying, and so he rips Taylor apart. No one's trying to figure out, hey, what's happening here? What's going on? Are you serious? Hold on. Let's figure out the facts. Blah, blah, blah. No one's able to do that. And Amira was in the room. She was in the room. And herself admitted in post-confessional to the camera that she did not interpret Taylor's words that way for Nicole to react that way. And she said nothing. Nothing. Monty was just with Taylor, and they both prayed for Nicole, and he said nothing. This girl I'm getting hot. This girl coming in, beautifully poised. I don't know where I left off. I'm getting hot in this thing, and I'm trying. This camera's getting on my nerves. My battery's dying, and everything. It's just a lot going on. But I gotta keep my hands up to keep me in focus. But Taylor comes into the situation really, really poised, thinking that Daniel is joking and that Nicole is joking, and she says something so sarcastic, but just with a nasty tone and like looking down on Taylor, like, oh, lays before the gym. And then that leads Daniel to go into his thing. And you know what's so crazy about this man? Every single emotion that he claims to feel so within his heart is coming off the heels of someone else's words. Not even his own experience in dealing with Taylor, but someone else's words. Paloma and Nicole's words. And Taylor's genuinely thinking that this kind of humor is funny. Oh, we're not joking? Hell no, that ain't joking. Soon as you came in that damn room and she said lays before her whole tone was so dismissive and disgusted that there was no way that you would have read that as a joke. No way. And I was like, what? Who is she talking to? And then this man off the side, standing right next to Terrence, is gonna be like, I can't even remember what the hell he said, but in my mind, I just know damn well Davon wouldn't have sat there and ate none of it. And I'm not saying nothing bad about Taylor. I'm not saying nothing bad about Taylor at all. I'm just saying this girl is filled with so much grace and humility that it is beyond me. Beyond me. So much so that she even tries to talk to this man in the living room. This man dismisses her. And then, I don't know how long it took him for him to go back to her, but he acts like he's about to apologize. And she's like, you know, no matter what the world thinks of you on the outside, I'm still gonna have your back. What? This girl is too good. She's too good. She's too good. No way in hell. So I say all that to say, because I don't know when my camera's gonna cut off, I'm aggravated because no one had Taylor's back. And not even to say no one, but before no one, the black people did not have her back. That's a problem for me. That's a problem for me. And I don't care what nobody says, that's a problem for me. Period. The second issue that I have with this episode is not only do we not get to see the full extent of everything that's going on, we don't, but the editors know what they're doing. They know what they're doing because they are damn for sure telling the story, and they are damn for sure putting people on blast. When Taylor speaks and she's filled with so much grace, and they pan and cut to Monty, who is not a part of whatever she's saying at that particular moment. The editors are very, very funny. Even when they make the homegirl's bike squeak, the editors know what they're doing. They do, and my problem is that we don't get to see enough of what's mentioned. We don't get to see enough on the edited episodes. And I feel like everything's so pieced together that it's just, we're still missing things. And I have a problem with that. I don't like that. Because I don't have time to sit here and watch all of the live feeds. And I guess what I'm saying to that problem is they need longer episodes. Give me a full hour and 30 minutes or 2-hour blocks. They do. Because y'all can miss me with the challenge. The challenge is just not it this season. It isn't. So y'all can miss me with that. Give me 2-hour episodes of Big Brother, for real. And I did have a third problem with it, but I just lost track of my mind, my energy, and everything was just so held captive by the fact that, like, Nicole and Daniel are so crazy to me right now. It's ridiculous. This broad is sitting here crying her eyes out because she doesn't want to throw the competition. She hates Taylor that bad that she needs the room so she can vent and cry. And Daniel's sitting there coddling her. What? And this girl is praying for you in the next room? What? I wish Taylor had some of Davon's, like, intuition. Oh my God. The third problem that I have with this episode, and just, I guess, the overall concept for the game, right? And I think this is where I would be problematic, because like I said, I would be Cody and Davon in one person. And I don't know how far I would get in the game, right? Because it's the fakeness of it all. Like, I understand you withholding information because you're trying to blindside someone, or withholding information because you're trying to get a leg up on, or maintain power to get someone out. All of that is for the game, right? But when you're like, hey, how are you? Oh my God, you're so awesome. And then the person leaves the room. Oh, I can't stand that broad. And oh, she's such a bully. And all this extra. What? And then how is it that Kyle is the only one to acknowledge the wrongdoing? How? And that's that mob mentality that's baked into this house. When you get in there and there's only 16 of you and you only have each other to go off on. And that's that mob mentality. Everybody in that house is complicit to the Taylor hate train. Every single person is complicit. Some way more than others, but everyone is complicit. And it's so problematic to me. And I just wish that Big Brother had some kind of like some kind of like award that's given to veto people, or like Michael won 3 vetoes. I feel like he should be awarded some kind of info line or jewel drop from the outside world. Something that says something about someone. Maybe if it was like, you know, like the algorithm, right? And the algorithm selects all the players that's in the house, and you get to pick a player that you want to know something about them. Like, I feel like that would just blow the game up. And then they're awarded the jewel in the form of like a riddle about the person that they selected, and they have to figure out the riddle. I think something like that should happen, because when things like this go on in the house, it just makes it really, really hard to watch. And I just have a feeling that the producers had to have gotten involved, because out of nowhere now, all of a sudden, things have changed for people. And now it doesn't make sense. I feel like somebody said something in one of the diary rooms and was like, what do you think about what's going on? And how do you think, you know, Pooch got out? Like, do you think it was the girl? Like, I feel like, I don't know. A lot of the contestants say the diary room never asks them anything. And they just say, talk about this. But I don't know. I find it very hard to believe that, because all of a sudden now we're all like, oh, let's create the leftovers and let's do this and let's do that. Even though Kyle started off with the pound first with the 4 dudes, and that's how the conversation about Pooch came, from the 4 dudes. And Kyle again was like, we need more people. And then Kyle was like, hey, these people are on the outs, so let's bring them in. Maybe Kyle is just that smart. I don't know. But it's very interesting how all of this is just playing out in week 3. I don't know. I hope Amira gets gone. Amira's not a great person. She's a great player, but not a great person. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think about my rant. You know, sometimes I go off. But it just, I don't know. It's just so much happening in this house, and I just wish that I could be there to support Taylor. Thank you guys for watching. Leave your comments below. Deuces!